Hey guys, it's Tipsy Tuesday, and here is your tip for the day. Now, this one, you're not gonna believe. This one, you're gonna be really peed off. You're gonna be really upset at the end because this story I'm gonna tell you happened to my buyer. It happened to us just last week. Guys, empathy and money, for the most part, don't go in the same sentence when we're talking about real estate, especially when a lawyer is involved. Trust me. You're not gonna believe this story. Okay, hey, real quick, Julian Gonzalez here with RSVP Real Estate. Thank you so much, hey, for tuning in. If you haven't, please subscribe. If you have any good tips that I could share with our fellow viewers on this channel, any tips, put it down below in the comments. Okay, here's the story, guys. My buyers have been looking for a house for 2 years. Been rejected about 7 times. We finally found a house for $310,000. A total dump, being sold as is. In fact, this house was belonged to a woman who passed away, so this was an estate being handled by an attorney. Part of the estate was the deceased woman's son. Okay. When we went to go look at the house the first time, myself and the buyer drove by, there's a big pickup in the front. And I said, ooh, that pickup looks like one of those flipper pickups, one of those contractor pickups. Drove by. Went really slow, saw us, went real slow, went around. Saw him again. Went inside the house, we liked it. Well, thankfully, we got our offer accepted. Super happy, and I said, hey, I told my buyer, hey, anything can happen in real estate, so let's just keep our emotions, contained, controlled right now. So during the inspection, 4 days after acceptance, that same pickup drove by really slow. And I said to myself, why would somebody drive by a property that had their offer rejected? Like if I get an offer rejected, why would I want to drive by the house? I'm like, okay. 15 minutes later, same truck goes by really slow. I said, my buyer, I go, look, and he parked, by the way. I told my buyer, hey, that guy's waiting for the shoe to drop. Anything happens, he's going to smell blood. He's a vulture. He's already been in contact with the listing broker to say, hey, what's going on with that transaction? Just so you know that I'm here. Guys, that happens, right? Listing brokers sometimes, you want to have a backup offer. You do. I would too. I want to have a backup offer just in case. But you want to negotiate honestly, right? In good faith with the party that you're dealing with. Okay. So once we got the inspection report, there's some things that happened to this was in the house that were kind of like, okay. But my buyer's like, Julian, don't worry about it. I'll take care of that stuff. I'll wait inspection. Okay, I said, okay, fine. The only worry was the appraisal. Appraiser came back and said, hey, some of the baseboard heaters are not working and there's no seismic strap on the water heater. Those things need to be done before closing for the appraisal to be approved, thus the loan to be approved. We're like, okay. So I reached out to the listing broker and I'm like, I was uneasy about that pickup truck. But I said, hey, can you please tell the attorney that we'd like to go in there and fix this house, fix what needed to be fixed. Is it okay? I knew what the answer was. He was going to say no because of liability. Buyer goes in, does the wire, and trust me, one of those baseboards heaters cost, I don't know, $60 to put in, to buy, and then takes 15 minutes to put it together. But if the wiring's put wrong by the buyer, the place burns down, then the lawyer's in trouble. So I said, okay, what if we get a licensed, insured, and bonded contractor to put those in? Doesn't cost anything. Work was less than $500. The attorney said no. And I'm like, I told my buyer, hey, these guys have another offer on the side ready to go. Because why wouldn't you want us to get this done? That's the way our loan was going to approve. We had to do it before, get that appraisal work order done. Why wouldn't you want to get done if you wanted this deal to close? That was gonna. How about getting a holdback, meaning that money is held in escrow after closing, work is done, and then the money's dispersed. They didn't want to do that, and the lender couldn't do that also. Couldn't do a holdback, so we're like, okay, now we're screwed. Thankfully, the lender worked hard, worked with the superiors, they got waived. Thank goodness. Ball continued to roll. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be great. Now, closing's 2 days before Thanksgiving, so that would be last Tuesday. Everything's rolling perfectly. We're on the trajectory to close. On Monday, the day before closing, lender reaches out, Julian, we're good to go, ready to close, everything's good to go. However, at the last second, the state called and said, hey, you know what? The wife needs to sign some documentation certifying that she doesn't have another type of income. She's right now in Honduras. So she had to sign something off because my buyers were using Washington State's down payment assistance program. And we're like, okay, no problem. However, it was such late notice that now my lender needed an extra day to close. He says, hey, Julian, don't worry about it. Just ask for 1 day close and we're good. I'm like, that's not gonna happen. We need to close it now. If not, we're gonna be screwed. He's like, no, Julian, I've done this for 20 years. I've always gotten a 1 day extension. I talked to my mentor who I work with. She's great, been doing this 20 years. Julian, I've always gotten a 1 day extension. 1 day extension, basically, just sign this 1 day extension. You'll have your money in 24 hours, 18 hours. The money's in the bank. Come day of closing, I reached out to the listing broker. Hey, we're gonna need an extra day. They said no. No, we're not gonna sign that. So right there solidified to me that the guy most likely in the pickup, I can't prove it, but I'm sure it's him, had a better offer in hand to give to the estate, the seller, the attorney. So unfortunately, guys, no, it didn't go through. It just showed me a lot of things. It showed me that, again, empathy and money don't go hand in hand when it comes to real estate. Now, you might be mad at the attorney like I am. It's like, show a little bit of empathy. Come on, dude. And I've talked to other real estate attorneys who said, no, Julian, yeah, you don't have to accept it in a sense. You can talk to the seller and say, hey, come on, man, we had a deal. Come on, show some heart. You could do that. Maybe you did. I don't know. But at this point, I don't like that person. When you're a listing broker, it's kind of like you got to be mad at somebody. But at the end of the day, well, I might be upset at the listing broker who's doing his job. Who's doing his job? Same thing. The attorney was doing his job. At the end of the day, they're doing their jobs. I know it sucks, but they were doing his job. The listing broker, doing what's best interest of his client, so was the attorney. And as much as I'm upset at that situation for my buyers, believe it or not, they're like, Julian, it's okay, it's upsetting, but we'll find something better. Or as my boss, Andy, says, the house you're supposed to be in, you'll be in. I think I got that right, Andy, right? So stay positive, but these situations do happen in real estate, so I just wanted to be aware. When it comes to money and empathy and real estate, it doesn't always work out. And you also got to ask yourself, if you were offered $30,000 more the day before closing, would you pull out? That's your tip for this Tipsy Tuesday. Salud.